Good afternoon. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. For me, I'm just extremely thankful and blessed to have the opportunity of leading our program this year. Excited about the new leaders that we have on our football team. The chance to get to show that leadership, to build our team, just to be able to build trust, to build a culture of Dart, and just show that we truly committed to it, that we care, and that we trust each other. So it's going to be big for us this year. Very thankful to just be in this conference, right? For me, it's a conference of quarterbacks. For us, having the opportunity right now of having two really good quarterbacks, right? Having a chance to compete, that means a lot to us. A bunch of preeminent players throughout this conference that are truly good and that can play on our football team and amongst the other teams. I think that we probably have the strongest non-conference schedule in the country, and being able to have that, being able to compete week in and week out, you'll just see a conference full of competitive guys, competitive coaches. I think we have some of the better coaches in the conference that we get an opportunity to compete against, and I'm happy to just be the man that has a chance to lead this program out this season to see what we can do, right? To show guys that we'll be here to compete and to play some physical, tough football.
Coach, thank you. We will start our microphones. We will go first row to your left, and why don't we just get our first two questions from there, please.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing very well. You mentioned it in the open there that you have two quarterbacks willing to compete here in the fall. Just what you saw with Steve Angeli and why you wanted to bring him in, and then Ricky Collins Jr., what this could be like for the fall to push this team as they push each other.
I thought he's been a leader since he was in high school. He's done a good job getting a chance to follow him a little bit there. And then let's be realistic. I think when he got a chance to play in that bowl game last year, he did a good job and led them to a victory. But then for me, what stood out the most was Notre Dame's last year making that run and playing against Penn State when that quarterback was out. And he went in to have a guy just be able to come in with so much poise, so much leadership, seeing the team be behind him being able to take them down the field and score. I felt like that led to that spark that they needed for them to be able to go along and win that game and being able to go and compete in a national championship. So, I want champions on our football team, but for us, it's competitive all over, right? No one's safe, right? For us, everybody's competing to play at every single position. We have guys that can compete to play. So if you decide not to compete that day, you might not be in this position you're in that day, the next day.
Joe Bombo, Athlon Sports, right here. Coach, I was just wondering, last year's passing success with quarterback Kyle McCord, some believe that it was a product of him as a quarterback. I'm asking, is that the system that you plan to run moving forward, or was that just a product of who we had at quarterback?
I think it was a mixture of both. I think he was really well. I think it is the system, but I can't take away from how good he is. The decisions that he made, the leadership that he's shown day in and day out throughout that program. Kyle McCord came and he set records for the ACC that haven't never been done. He's done that. He set records at the school at Syracuse, which have Hall of Famers that came there and played quarterback. So to say that it wasn't Kyle, that would be weird to not say this. So that definitely was Kyle. But if you go back and you check who Jeff Nixon is and what he's been doing for a long time, when he was at Bell in the same system, the same thing well and did a good job. When he had an opportunity of taking over, being an offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, the same thing happened, and he did a good job during his time. And Jeff was a well sought out guy this offseason. A lot of people want him to come in their program and being able to do it. I think we kind of out-recruited those guys a little bit.
For your first year Coach of the Year award, and led Syracuse to 10 wins for the first time in 6 years. What is the key to continuing the positive momentum that's developed amongst this program?
I think just the mental toughness, and the award was presented to me. I think our team won that award, the coaching staff won the award, and the fan base. I just was the guy that got a chance to go on the stage and receive it for all of us. But it's for us, it's a day-to-day grind, right? Mental toughness is to be where your feet are. So I feel like if daily, I just focus on the mission and tasks, right? And that'll eventually get us to what our ending goal is, which we want to be able to compete and play for a national championship. But just daily, I'm focused on being where my feet are. I'm locked in.
Coach, right side, third row.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. First thing first, how is Jamie Trumble's progression and development been as he's expected to replace a definite dynamic playmaker in Rondé Gaston? And you talked about, keeping your wife and kids happy. Is the winners get washed thing still a thing with you as well, or is that something that's kind of going by the wayside?
That was just something that I said. I mean, it just depends how you feel. If you lose, right? For me, when you practice all week, you practice all week to win. You don't practice to lose. So when you lose, if you're okay with that, you know how to be like, well, as long as you did everything you could, you shouldn't worry about it. That's BS. I don't live by that, right? You lose, like you took a piece of like what I was working on that. So that means a lot. Jamie's doing a really good job, but Rondé will be replaced by Dan Villari and then a bunch of other guys, right? So Dan's the guy that's going to step up into that role and be able to play that role, and he's working. I mean, Rondé is a guy, right? Rondé will never just be replaced by one person, but we feel when it comes to the work ethic, the mindset, the ability to make guys miss, to run after the catch a lot. Like we think Dan Villari is the guy to step into that role, be able to do that, but he'll just also be assist, right? We think Jamie's doing a hell of a job. He's working his butt off. Anytime you see guys working at practice, you'll catch Dan and come together, right? So like they're doing a real good job together of being able to go and replace him. But Rondé will probably start in the NFL this year, so you just don't replace that guy with one person. But we got to go off of who leads that room now, who's a leader on our offense. Is Dan Villari that's doing that. But Jamie's doing an outstanding job, and I think you guys will like the roles that you see him in this year when you watch him play a little bit of football. He'll be moving all over the field.
Let's go back to Dan in the front row right in front of you.
Fran, you speak out of dark, detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough, and then your faith as well. Just the importance of not just saying these things, but living them every single day in the building of the foundational pillars of what the culture is at Syracuse football today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Yeah, I mean, like faith is everything. That's why I'm standing here, right? Because of my, for me, it's my religion first, right? It's the man above that I push, I think when you're trying to do that and you're trying to teach men that, and teach young men that, they gotta have a foundation, right? Because at some point, all of us in here are career women and men, and we're working extremely hard. But at some point, it was extremely hard for you guys, right? And you may have made a couple phone calls, and some people gave you the motivation that, yeah, I keep going, I can do it. But for me, it's nothing like that word, nothing like being able to just trust in something that you can't see, right? That's the faith, that's the trust, the belief. And I just think that they see that I live that, right? If you ask them, that's every day, right? It's not a recruiting pitch, or it's not just different things. Like, that's who I am, because when I went through my trials and tribulations, it wasn't someone else that got me out of it. It was the word, right? It was just seeing those stories and seeing things in the Bible that happened hundreds of years ago that was going on now in my own life. So I'm like, well, if they went through it, then maybe if I focus and I look and I read these stories, I don't gotta make the same mistakes, right? I'm thankful. I think Coach Heupel is probably top 5 best coaches in college football right now. His offense has done an amazing job. He got the defense rolling. What happened at Georgia don't got nothing to do with that Syracuse. So I'm just focused. My mental toughness, I'm gonna be where my feet are. We locked in on the day so we can be ready when we get to that stage. But I mean, it's a big thing, so we gotta make sure we're ready when that time comes.